2022 has been a pretty crazy year so far. And, I have previously talked about Q1 and all the things that happened then, especially with a lot of changing legal regulations. Um, and my predictions for Q2, well, it's been 3 months. And so today on the BB&J podcast, I'm going to be talking about some of the big highlights from Q2 of 2022, and then my predictions for Q3 2022. I'm your host, as almost always, John Lynn, and let's get right into it. So I think one of the biggest things that we've seen in terms of social media platforms moving in a way that they really weren't before is with Twitter. You had Elon Musk attempting to or saying he's going to, and still is, however many months later, buy the Twitter company. All of the things that went on with that in terms of bot accounts and privacy. You had the Twitter issue of misusing private data. They got hit by a fine for that, for using it for years. So I would say that in terms of, let's say, anomalous changes, Twitter is definitely the one that's changed the most. Moving on to other social media platforms, I think you've really seen a shift, not in just the working out the kinks and okay, let's get this stuff set up, but also the demographics of what the users are using, especially with Instagram and YouTube. You've seen a shift towards that short form video that we talked about, right? So I I know there's a specific YouTube channel that I look at, and I was looking at their videos, and the long form videos that they used to do nowhere near as well as the Instagram Reels or sorry, the YouTube Shorts. And our YouTube Shorts do very well as well, here and there. And that's just something that you did not see before. People are genuinely using YouTube Shorts. The same is true for Reels. A lot of people now are using Instagram Reels, especially people who don't have TikTok. So you've seen definitely a shift towards short form, especially since Instagram has made it a lot more friendly to do more formats, in terms of the kind of video formats that it will show. The last thing is TikTok. We talked about that 10-minute video, and you have absolutely seen a lot more creators shifting to longer than 15 seconds, right? You see a ton in that minute range, and you're seeing more and more in that 3-minute range. Do I think that people are going to be casually swiping 3-minute videos? No, but especially in more conversational TikToks, you definitely see people trying to use those 3-minute videos to get a lot more nuance and explaining things that you could in just a minute, or 15 seconds, heck. Now on to my predictions for Q3. I did talk about some EU bills and laws being passed, court cases being decided that cause major things. Those are not done by any means. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of those, kind of coming to fruition, judgments being made into Q3 2022. In terms of EU, that's kind of where we're at with those open law cases or open court cases. In terms of the United States, I think especially as the election season approaches or is in full force, you're going to be seeing a lot more lawmakers really pushing to try to squeeze out some regulatory bills against social media platforms so they could turn around to their base and say, hey, look at this thing, right? That's why a lot of these things happen so close, packed into election season, so that it's fresh on people's minds. The last thing is, is audio-based social media platforms on all across the board dead? No, absolutely not. But I've noticed that Facebook now is trying to push its own audio-based social media, and I think you're going to see I think it's kind of trying to figure it out now, but you're definitely going to see another big contender for audio-based social media, really trying to push it, I believe, in Q3 2022. So, that's absolutely something people have been talking about for like 5 years now, plus, of like, this is gonna be the next big thing. This is gonna be the next big thing. And it just keeps not quite working. I think podcasting is absolutely big, but there's a huge difference between podcasting and social media, you know? But those are my predictions for Q3 2022. Let me know in the comments below what you think is going to be happening these next 3 months. But other than that, I'd like to thank you so much for listening and or watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.